This is the 2020 Nissan X-Trail, and despite a lot of new and fresh competition in the medium SUV segment, this is still a very popular option with Australian families. This third generation X-Trail came out in around 2013, which means there's probably a replacement around the corner. However, there's some new stuff for 2020, there's some great things about this car and some not so great things. Let's get through them all. We sampled the new variant X-Trail N-Trek in New Zealand recently and followed up with some more driving in Sydney. This limited edition variant is priced from $38,700. It's based on the mid-range STL, but N-Trek brings with it 19-inch alloys, 8-speaker Bose sound system, and a few basic accessories like wind deflectors and a bonnet protector on the outside, and carpet and kick plates on the inside. For this extra gear, Nissan has bumped up the asking price by a neat $1,000. The X-Trail's interior does hint at its overall size. It's one of the biggest in its class. It measures in at 4.96 metres long and 1.82 metres wide, and depending on trim level, it can be had as a 7-seater. While you probably don't need to look too far to find an interior that's a bit more modern or has a bit more tech around the place, this X-Trail's interior does win in terms of space and practicality. I say practical because there is hard surfaces, but I think they're hard wearing and you kind of want that for a family car most of the time. And there's a bit of storage around the place. There's a spot here up the front, you could throw your wallet there, a couple of phones. This center console bin is pretty big as well. There's a 12-volt plug in there too. Door bins are reasonably sized, and as a driving vehicle, there's a lot of adjustment. This specification has electric adjustment and lumbar control there as well. On the other side of the gear selector here, there's a couple of cup holders. There's a nifty little thing that adds a bit of air conditioning there to maybe keep your drink cool, but I'm not sure how well that would work. And on this specification, you've also got heated seats here. Nice feature. Probably the most important thing for a medium SUV is size in this second row. And I've got lots of space here. That's my seating position up the front. Lots of leg room, and there's a fair bit of headroom too. So adults are fine. Kids will have acres of space in the back here. They've also got air vents, but there isn't any 12-volt power or USBs in the back, which is a little bit of a shame. What is good, however, are these seats. These slide forward and back well with a 60-40 split. There's also a 40-20-40 fold down function. This one in the middle comes down, you've got some cup holders there, handy for loading big things in the back, or you can get comfortable on the longer drives. The engine hasn't changed, and while there are two options of petrol and one diesel under the bonnet, we've got the 2.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol. That makes 126 kilowatts and 226 newton meters. That runs through a CVT automatic gearbox to the front wheels, although you can option an all-wheel drive system for an additional $2,000. Claimed fuel economy for this car is 7.9 litres per 100 Ks on the combined cycle. If you're going to be spending a lot of time around town, the urban figure of 10.7 per 100 is probably closer to what you'll be doing. And driving it right now, I kind of get why people still lean towards the X-Trail. It's been around for a while, everyone knows the name, it's got a good look about it too. There is a bit of a familiarity thing there going on, but when you're driving it, it just seems to do the job of a medium SUV well. It doesn't do a lot of the fancy stuff so much. It's a little bit older, but it really nails those core things, I think. It's got a suspension tune that definitely leans on the side of comfort. Soaks up bumps pretty well. There is a little bit of body roll to handle, but nothing too much. Remember, this is an SUV, not a sports car. At the same time, this steering is pretty light. Easy to throw around. Through corners, intersections, that sort of thing, no troubles. There's no huge amounts of feedback or meatiness in the steering or any sort of sporting nature about this car, but it's a family SUV. For cruising around town, through the suburbs, bit of a highway run here and there, it does the job pretty well. What's also decent is the driveline. It's an engine that stays mostly unfazed. Around town, it's got a little bit of torque there off the mark because of the larger capacity. The gearbox does a reasonable job of not letting the engine rev out too much. Once you get on the highway, you might have to overtake a big truck or something like that. Then you might notice that the engine maybe could use a little bit more power in that top end, but for most of the time around town, off the set of lights, through roundabouts, that sort of thing, the engine's pretty good, and it's quiet, mostly refined too. CVT transmissions can get a bit of a bad rap sometimes in terms of how they drive, but this one in the X-Trail has a bit of a stepped nature about it. You can actually put the gear lever across there and go through different gears, which is a bit of an artificial thing. But as you're driving along, it does sort of rev and then change gears like a normal gearbox, which I think people will appreciate if they're coming from another normal automatic car. But the CVT has the benefit of using a little bit less fuel than a torque converter auto. Although it is one of the biggest, the X-Trail is also one of the oldest in its class. You don't need to look far in that huge throng of competition to find something newer, something with more tech or more modern styling. With that aside, the X-Trail is still worthy of consideration. It's let down by highway noise and rolling acceleration, although performance is good enough around town. There is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and in these days that's a bit of a miss. The X-Trail does score well in the safety stakes. There's a 5-star ANCAP safety rating from 2017, along with autonomous emergency braking, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, and 360-degree camera. Lots of boxes ticked there from a safety point of view. The X-Trail does give a decent ride, and that big interior is well set up for serving the family duties. And that's what it's all about for a runabout family car at the end of the day. It is a bit old and outgunned in many disciplines, but it still fills the brief nicely. Check out our massive medium SUV mega test to see how the X-Trail goes in a comparison of the entire field. And while you're there, you can also check out our off-road medium SUV comparison as well. What's your medium SUV of choice? Would you choose this X-Trail or something else? Let us know in the comments below, and of course, smash that like button and make sure that you are subscribed to Car Advice's YouTube channel.